Jnr Choi, New Year Magazine. Thanks for being here today and sitting down with us. This is Close Up. Obviously, before your music career, you were a model and you were making music alongside your modeling career.
Yeah.
So, like, what part of that time of your career do you miss most?
Of modeling?
Yes.
Kind of like the purity of it. Like, I remember like my first times kind of like traveling as a model, going to like Paris and Milan, and like just meeting other kids just like me, just like whether they're from like Paris, whether they're from New York. Like, I made some real good friends, and it was just like we were just all thrown into the same thing with like pretty much the same guidance, where pretty much no guidance. We're just trying to figure it out and like figure ourselves out and just get to whatever bad dream goal that we had, and like it just felt pure, you know. It just felt like we were all just like lost kids trying to figure it out, and I miss that time a lot.
Yeah, makes sense. And like, fashion is a very important part of like who you are, your career, and we know that your entry into like the fashion industry was kind of looking at platforms like Tumblr.
Yeah.
So, what was your entry point? If you could actually like create a mood board of your music based off of like what you would see on Tumblr, like what would that be? Like, let's say 3 images that kind of identify you as an artist.
That's cool. You know, like film photos of loads of diamonds. Some scenery, some like on like a hill in Ibiza overlooking like a sea, but it's mad green with a beautiful sunset, and like the water's kind of dark and gloomy, but it's like it's still beautiful, but it's like got a dark touch to it. And it can be like a person. It'd be like Pharrell smiling with girls or something.
Amazing. Those are some great examples. Speaking about your origins, you're from Gambia, and your music has a lot of like Afrobeat inspired elements to it. Do they take reference from where you're from, Gambia, or from somewhere else?
There is some references. I released a song called Kora that uses an instrument called the Kora, which is from the Gambia. I was out there a couple of weeks ago. I was working on some music with some guys out there, and yeah, a lot of like native like styles of music definitely influenced. But I'm also quite influenced by just West Africa in general.
Yeah, amazing. And speaking of Gambia, you're also from London and raised in London.
Yeah.
So how would you describe London or where you were from in London to someone that's not from here?
Just a load of blocks. Yeah, man. A load of blocks. It's like a concrete jungle.
Yeah.
I'll say like the less pretty side of New York. But then I also was raised in Essex, which was a complete flip of the script. So it's like I had like 2 different dynamics growing up.
Yeah, makes sense, and kind of ties into like your music in a sense.
2 different dynamics, yeah, 100%. Right
Yeah.
by the sea and right by the I thought about that.
What is your family dynamic like? I know you speak a lot about your mother and other things that you do. So yeah, what's your family dynamic like?
Right now it's my mother, my brother, and me. Yeah.
Sounds good. And in your ideal world, how would your daily life differ from your nightlife?
My ideal world?
Yeah.
Kind of how it is now. It's my ideal world. I'm living my dream right now. But it's busy during the day. We're always working. We're doing things that are going to better our future. We're going to do things that are going to better tomorrow. We're going to thank ourselves for it once we look back. And then at night, we're either plotting, relaxing, laughing, loving, or just we're out and we're lit.
Yeah, and speaking of living your dream, obviously To the Moon is a big smash single, and a lot of people look to have that at least once in their career, and you've been able to achieve it. So the song references an artist called Sam Tompkins in the instrumental. So did you ever have a conversation with him about like the song and how successful it is?
Nah, I DM'd him, but he aired me. Yeah.
With that single as well, it had some other kind of remixes attached to it that also did very well.
Yeah.
One featuring Gunna, one featuring Fabio Foreign,
Yeah.
and it was M24
Yeah.
as well. So
And Russ.
yeah, and Ross. So those songs
And
they had those songs had visuals to them,
Yeah.
and they were also sonically different to like the original.
Yeah.
So like, which remix was sonically your favorite, and which one was visually your favorite?
I've got to say both for the Gunna one. Yeah. Visually and sonically. Yeah, the party vibes, that was like, it was a good representation of what I do, how I live my life. And sonically, I really like the way he just came on it on some like chilled and like grab a glass of whiskey and just like expensive rap. I like how he came in.
Amazing. And with the success of that song, you have obviously have a lot of music coming on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a full-length project since your release SS 2021. So do you feel any pressure since that project till now of releasing a body of work, seen as like with the success of the singles that you've had coming up?
Nah, no pressure. We kind of, even like, I guess by the time To the Moon was released, like, I already had another whole project ready to release in the same kind of time. And if To the Moon hadn't released, it would have released within the project regardless. So I've still got that project plus all the new music that I got. Like, and I don't really believe in pressure. You know, pressure is kind of like you're letting someone else dictate how you feel about your own work. You know, there's no rules to this. There's no race.
Amazing. And yeah, in that race, you've been able to build some good relationships with other talent, other artists that have like done some great work. One note would be Fabio Foreign, who you have 2 songs with and a single out with right now.
Yeah.
So Amused is a single, and we want to ask you what or who always tends to bring joy or amusement to you in your life.
Other than hoes, my bros.
Going back to London as well. London is where you've grown and developed as an individual. What part of your personality comes from the city or things that you've seen within the city?
There's a certain like swag that I feel like a lot of people from London have. It's like, I like to say we, but yeah, I'm gonna be in my own world, and it's like, it's almost like ignorance, but it's like we just move with like a vibe that we don't have to like copy and paste to be where we want to go, like act out of all the ordinary when you meet somebody, and you know, we kind of just always ourselves and just run it that way. So I feel like that swag that like especially London have from traveling so much. You know, London has it and New York has it. They're just themselves. You get what you get, and like I feel like that's something I've definitely just kept with me.
Yeah, and speaking of, like, you definitely carved your own name in the music scene, not even just in the UK or in the US, because like
that means a lot.
Yeah, you're an artist that kind of lives in a unique space that not many travel. So what would you say to an artist that's like trying to break out of the UK boundaries or trying to edge into like otherworldly elements? Like what kind of advice would you give them?
It might be it sounds very simple. It's just open your mind. There's so much of the world to see. Just from time, like if I didn't open my mind in what I wore to college and felt free with how I dressed early on, then I wouldn't have dabbled into fashion. I wouldn't have gone to these countries like Paris, Milan, just off my own back. I met people that were coming in from New York, Atlanta, like who people are idolizing these days. Like, just, you know, finding yourself early, being yourself in the right places and attracting the right energy. You then find out that the world is tiny, and like going over to Atlanta, going over to New York, going over to LA, going over to even Denver, like DC, like you can really go there, be yourself, and like connect with the right people without trying to. And then before you know it, you've crossed the bridge, crossed the pond, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not like you just paid the bag to go and get a feature.
Yeah, sounds great. And yeah, you've definitely traveled around a lot and had some different experiences that a lot of people haven't. But in those travels, in the space that you've been in, has there ever been a time where you've kind of felt like excluded, or not necessarily just excluded, but kind of it just wasn't for you?
Yeah, all the time. All the time. Because I don't know if it's a feeling of excluded or if it's just me minding my own business regardless, but like, you know, from like college times where it's like, I'm just gonna be doing my own thing and I'm gonna just like wear what I wanna wear, and you know, people are like, oh, what's this, what's that? It's like, I could have either just chose from that point on to kind of conform and just be like, alright, cool, let me just maybe dress more like them, or like, mom, this is what these lot are wearing to school, like, can I get that? Can I get that? Rather than having that attitude with it, I've kind of kept the same. I'm gonna just do it my own way, how I want to do it throughout my entire career with everything. So I'm modeling whilst people are doing that and that. I'm like, I'm gonna focus on my bag, keep going forward. Then it gets into like even bigger things where it's like social media and like scenes and this and that. Like, I've always kind of just done my own thing. Yeah. Whether it is I know everybody, whether it is like we're all friends or acquaintances or whatever, it's always been like, we're not from the same place. I don't actually, like, behind closed doors, I don't even know you type beat. So I've always kind of just been in my own bubble, even if it is in a different bubble, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
whether it's a self of like feeling, whether it's a feeling of like feeling, you say secluded?
Yeah, secluded, or just like it just wasn't a space that you necessarily felt like kind of embodied who you were in a sense, or wasn't conducive to like how you try to operate.
I'll say the UK right now. Yeah, the UK right now is kind of moving that way.
Fair enough, fair enough. And kind of last question I have is like, you're an artist that is definitely obviously very ambitious in the way you've kind of traveled from various industries. Is there an ambition or goal that you have in your mind that you're kind of apprehensive about? Like, well, that might be a bit like gaudy, because as an artist that you are right now, you performed at Summer Jam, you performed at Wireless. These are things that a lot of artists kind of dream about. So I'm sure you dream about more than that. So is there something that you're like not apprehensive but kind of worried to even say that is one of your ambitions?
Nah. I don't really have crazy goals like that. My goals are more they're more in tune with like family life and like, you know, career goals for me is just to be able to be in a space that I can create how I want to create and show the world comfortably what I want to show them, not do this, do that, you know? Stuff like performing at Wireless, performing at Summer Jam, performing at the O2, they are all like insanely amazing things that I'm crazy grateful for, like on another level. Things that I hadn't even imagined of being able to do at the level I am and like where I am and how long I've been doing it. But like, it's just, all it's done for me is really open my eyes to what you can really do when you move with intention, when you move with just like freedom, creativity. It's a crazy thing.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jnr Choi.
Pleasure.
This is Close Up. There we are.